At this point you'll have more luck predicting the lottery numbers than what starting XI Pep Guardiola is going to field in a Man City game. The Catalonian left us all scratching our heads an hour before kick-off against Arsenal. How many midfielders? 5. 3 at the back? 4? But who are going to be the full-backs? Sterling up top? Were just some of the many questions asked. One change no one saw coming though was Fernandinho, City's most important midfielder, being moved into the heart of the defense. It was a risky gambit that saw the Brazilian play at the back when City were without the ball and move into midfield when they were in possession, and one that eventually paid off as City ran out 3-1 winners courtesy of a Sergio Aguero hat-trick without being hugely convincing. It seemed as though the midfield was congested with David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan all on the pitch at the same time, and it proved difficult to shine bright in a cluttered sky. City did dominate the second half as Arsenal melted away, but from the time between Laurent Koscielny's equaliser to when Aguero restored the lead, City were often nervy and slack on the ball. A braver team like Newcastle may have punished City more harshly, and with Chelsea coming up on Sunday it wouldn't be a surprise if Guardiola abandoned the tactical switch and once again made changes to his side to face a struggling Everton. Everton have been in dire form of late, only winning 3 of their last 9 Premier League games and crashing out of the FA Cup to Championship outfit Millwall. So while Guardiola won't take the Toffees lightly, he may feel he could afford to rotate his team to keep key players fresh. However, since victory at Goodison would see City go above Liverpool at the top of the table on goal difference after the Reds failed to beat West Ham on Monday night, he could choose to name as strong a team as possible. Ederson will undoubtedly start in goal with Walker and Otamendi potentially retaining their places. Laporte was shifted out to the left to accommodate Fernandinho, and it worked a treat as he set up the opener after a minute. It was a very solid defensive performance too, which could make the Frenchman Guardiola's most reliable left-back with Benjamin Mendy's continued absence, although Guardiola didn't say Mendy was unavailable for the game in his press conference. If Mendy doesn't return, Laporte could keep his place on the left with John Stones returning at centre-back against his former club. The potential switches at the back could see Fernandinho return to his favoured position in midfield, but with so many games coming up perhaps he'll be rested for this game with Gundogan taking up the defensive midfield role. Yet, with how vital Fernandinho is, maybe Pep can't afford to rest him even for a game against easier opposition. Silva and De Bruyne, who left the pitch with a grimace on Sunday, could both be rotated. They've both played a lot of minutes lately, with De Bruyne still shaking off the rust after so long on the sidelines, so Bernardo and Gundogan could fill in for the pair in midfield. Raheem Sterling and Sergio Aguero could both keep their places in attack after combining for 2 goals of Sunday's 3 goals, with Leroy Sane returning to the side after being left on the bench on Sunday. This team would see City return to a more typical formation with a settled back four instead of Fernandinho playing between the lines of midfield and defense. It would also give key midfielders a needed rest as the games continue to come thick and fast, but they'll be on hand from the bench if things don't go to plan. Predicted side: Ederson, Walker, Stones, Otamendi, Laporte, Fernandinho, Bernardo, Gundogan, Sterling, Aguero, Sane. Substitutes: Muric, Danilo, Delph, De Bruyne, Silva, Mahrez, Jesus.